Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode in my Create This Book 2 series. We are on episode 24, slowly making our way through this very large art journal. So if you want to check out all of my other episodes, I have an entire playlist, so I will leave that link down below. So today I'm going to be completing 3 different pages on camera, so let's get going. Starting off, we have the prompt, create disproportion. So for this one, I decided to do some drawing, which I feel like I don't do as much as I used to. So I got out a piece of printer paper because there was no way that I was able to draw in this art journal because it's just so massive and it doesn't really lay flat anymore. So printer paper works great. I cut out a spot so that the prompt would poke through once I glued it in. And I'm just drawing all these humans with disproportionate legs or arms or hands. Most of them have like tiny little heads, and then this one that I was drawing over here with like the mitts, it turned out terribly, so I ended up putting a separate piece of paper over top of it because I was not a fan of how it turned out. And I had a great time drawing these out. I did this with this black Muji gel pen, and I just kind of doodled, and it was really nice to feel free from proportions because oftentimes I feel like that really limits my ability to draw people effectively, so this was really nice. I added some background things into the page, like a window, a little street, some tulips, a sun, just kind of to fill everything in to make it a little bit more interesting. And I didn't want to color absolutely everything in on the page, so I just selected some Tombow markers in kind of very random colors and just colored in every like couple of spots for color across the page, just to make it a little bit more interesting, add some dimension, and then also to make the character stand out a bit. So that's how this one turned out. I was kind of in a little bit of crisis with glue. If you saw my last Create This Book episode, I was doing this like this day after and I still didn't have a glue stick, so I had to like tape this into my Create This Book. And it was just quite the challenge because, as you can see, my book is already extremely bulky, and then the tape, because I have to do like the fold over method, just adds more bulk to the page and it makes everything more complicated. So I ended up using some packing tape on the edges just to make everything stick down because I didn't really have glue. And on another note of making this page difficult to put back into the journal, the like meat or raw meat page is on the other side, which is made from Sculpey. So the page is really heavy and just like falls down, so you can't really open it up at all. So when I'm showing you this page here, I had like the book opened at like such a weird angle. The bottom, it's pretty much like in the shape of a T, just to be able to open this page all the way. So it's difficult, but this is how it turned out. I think it's really cute, and I had a great time drawing all these little characters. Next page has the prompt create piece, so I decided to make some doves on this page. I began by painting the background with some watercolor just to make it nice and soft and pastel, and then on a separate piece of paper I am just drawing out some doves with my black Muji gel pen. I got some inspo from Pinterest just to kind of figure out how the different, like I can make doves look different compared to each other, and I added some doodles inside just to make them a little bit more interesting. This was like something that I've never really drawn before, and then I cut those out. And of course, because the glue crisis was continuing, I didn't have any glue sticks, so I did find some extra like white glue that I was able to like cut open the tube and then paint it on, which actually worked better than expected. So I just put those all across the page. Hopefully it looks peaceful. And then because I thought it needed something like a little bit more interesting, I decided to make some envelopes for the doves to be holding. So I just did that with the same printer paper, folded that up, and then I colored those with like watercolor and also marker to make them a little bit of a different color. And I think this page turned out really nice. It's nice and simple, and I think it suits the prompt really well. And the final prompt is to create a comic. So I didn't actually follow this prompt exactly. I just more so used it as inspo because I grew up with brothers and I was really into Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Maybe it's because I was into it, or maybe it's because of the brothers, but who knows. So I decided I wanted to make a page dedicated to that. So I found some comics or like some extra printouts online, printed those out on some printer paper, and then decided to glue those in because I thought the characters are just so fun and just I love a nostalgic page. It also had some pages that were from this like do-it-yourself Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, which I decided to include. So I ripped those and glued them in, and the background I did the red color that is like from the first book, just to make it a little bit more colorful. And I also ended up adding some blue. These are some Crayola super tips. And in the Create Your Own Journal book, there was this like red journal that I wanted to use as like the journal or the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, if that makes sense. So I made this into a little mini book by cutting out some pages, gluing that together with my white glue and paintbrush, taped it all up, and then stuck it into the page. And lastly, I ended up cutting out some characters from another extra page from a book just to make it a little bit more interesting. And I liked that the background of these was like a little bit more like tan and less white compared to the printer paper ones. So I thought that was a nice different change of color. I'm adding some outlines with a black Tombow marker just to make the comics a little bit more bold. And that is how this one page turned out. I think it's really cute. I like just how simple the color scheme is, and I love a nostalgic page, like I said. And that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me complete these 3 pages. Let me know which one was your favorite. I think mine would have to be the dove page, just because it's so simple and I think it looks really pretty. And like I said, my entire playlist of all my episodes, there's a lot of them, will be linked down below if you want to check it out. We're getting so close to the final flip through, but like maybe actually not super close. In my head it is. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!